In-car camera system? Got that or not?
Really don't.
Hey, have you checked the bus?
Yeah,
What's leaking?
gas.
Oh,
Gas?
That ain't good.
That's actually, that evaporates when I put it back down on the parking lot.
I don't know. It ain't evaporating too fast.
Harbor
He
Electric.
turned it around,
Yeah,
so to be on this end now.
Martin's supposed to be able to walk on it.
But the swell protection, we've done that. We got rid of the swell. Already warned. Drainage at the bridge is still top priority.
Mm-hmm.
Wastewater studies and implementation are working
Go up
on
on front, Jay. You can come up on the front.
that. Boulevard bike path.
What?
Got dirty pants.
That camera's not gonna see the dirty pants.
I'm with Jay. If I was here not attending, I'd be in the back. They can see the back of my head.
But it is in the back of their head. You don't see their face unless they get
Yeah.
up.
Community swimming pool. Phew.
Oh, we don't want one of those.
That's a headache.
I'd say
My golf and on the whole back headache from them up there.
a little bit. A little bit.
You talk about something into. Bad enough trying to keep bathrooms clean.
Yeah, you need a full-time attendant, right?
Like full time, just for pool.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention certified lifeguards.
Right, I
all
was just
insurance
getting ready to
and
say
all.
that, yeah.
Well, here's something, video camera system at the bridge. We can do something about that. Cameras and
Robbie's
coming.
talking back to LPDs or license plate, or LPRs, license plate readers.
Yeah, from that flock.
I'd love to have one this afternoon when that girl from Pennsylvania went through the red lights.
Past us.
Yep, she went right through. And sat down on the horn. She never budged, she never flinched. I did see it was Pennsylvania license plate. She was just like didn't phase her.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I've got cameras up and working, how come the red light's not on?
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember all this stuff. I was here. Sorry.
That's all right. Mike wants to get rid of
Make
another
a
tree or two, you can run a coffee. Did you hear me?
I heard you.
You just ignored me, that's what it was.
We've eliminated a lot of that tree cutting.
It is, yeah.
Can you imagine if we would have printed all those packs for 7 of us last night?
Oh, hi, how are you?
Very good, yeah.
Good. I'm here to listen about renovations. How's your mom?
Hello.
Hi. Good, I know you're struggling, unable to come up to the court.
Yeah, well,
He's not gonna be, he's going to a ball
yeah,
game.
Just a second, please.
Okay, that's fine.
Try to,
We're gonna be there from point two on.
this has been acting up like 3 or 4 meetings. There we go. Got some lights blinking now.
Isolates.
Solid, now we're live in person.
Oh, I guess I could watch this.
Yes, you could have.
That's okay. I might shadow now with pickle and tennis.
I've been amazed at the number of employees that we have that are watching. I come in the next day, yeah, we saw it last night. We
Yeah.
saw this, we saw that.
It's amazing how many people do it.
Yep. I guess that's why we don't have many personal up here.
Right.
Henry Cathy told me, he said, when Monday nights when the meeting's on, he says, I'll come home and start talking to Jody. He said, "Shh, listen to the meeting." He says, "She shut
That's
you
way
down."
off.
Anytime you're ready, Madam Chairman.
Okay. All right, we'll call the Public Works Committee meeting of May 3rd to order. Call to order, Mayor,
Here.
Councilman Bott, myself, Ellen Richardson, Town Manager,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Talbot. Okay, we need an adoption of the agenda.
So moved. And seconded, I would guess. She can do it yourself.
Okay, yeah, I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, we'll turn it over to Mr. Talbot on the progress of our spring paving operations?
Thank you, ma'am. Basically, spring paving, the paving operations themselves are complete for roads. The only paving left to be done, we have one patch that's left. I'm not quite sure where that's at. I've got to go find it.
There is one on Wayne Road
Well,
and Ridge. That's your
yes,
apron.
it's not actually the patch, it's through apron. Yes, ma'am,
It's the
that's
apron.
correct. That's what I was told.
Yeah, I
But
hit it every day.
I bet you did. The paving is complete, lines are complete. We do have some things, we have a couple stop bars that have to be installed. Public Works is aware of those, and they're gonna do those in the next few days. The only other paving to be complete is the pickleball courts at the gym and the parking lot. I talked to Branscombe today, and that should be done Friday, weather permitting, and Saturday, weather not permitting. So if the weather allows it, either Friday or Saturday, it'll be done. From what I see on the hourly forecast for Friday, it's not supposed to start till later. And if asphalt is such that they can get it on the ground and rolled, it's done. It can rain all at once after that. So I'm hopeful that Friday we can get that done. We have notified the folks that are doing the sealing of the tennis courts, and we'll be doing the pickleball court. I emailed them today, and they are aware that the pickleball courts will be done on Friday, and they have ordered the materials and are due to come 2 weeks from now to do all three tennis courts, basketball court, and the pickleball court at the same time. And the reason they're 2 weeks out is because they recommend having 2 weeks, allowing the asphalt to cure for 2 weeks prior to sealing. So hopefully in 2 weeks, everything will be ship shape and looking good on all the courts in town.
Who, don't you put marks or things on the pavement? No? You don't do any marking?
They'll do that when they seal it.
You talking about the courts now?
Yes.
Yes,
Courts will be marked.
they'll remark it when they seal it. There's a whole procedure they have to go through. They'll clean it, power wash it, and then reseal it, and then they restripe it, and then they put the coloring back down. It's a whole process, but they
Okay.
will do all that when they're here.
It'll be nice and pretty when it's done.
Yes. They're doing some crack seal, all that stuff.
Okay. Thank you. All right, well, you covered that, the tennis court. The completion of Brianna's Kindness Park?
Yes, and for Brianna, what we have left, you've seen sidewalks, we talked about that at council meeting last night. We've got some grading around the sidewalks in the bathroom to be done. Time will do that. The plumbing needs to be done in the bathroom. The electric needs to be done in the bathroom. Jack Tar Electric is doing the electric for us. I talked to Jack yesterday, and he was on his way to pick up some materials. They're still trying to get all the materials. I think he was picking up a panel for it yesterday. So the rest of the stuff I would hope would be straightforward in that it's easily obtainable. So I'll keep in contact with Jack and get that done in the next week or so. The plumbing we'll be doing in-house, and we can pretty much control that when my plumber's available here. Siding also done in-house, the gable end siding, and we're putting fish scales, whatever you want to call them, on the gable ends. Scallop, some people call them. The siding, I understand, is here, so it's just a matter of making time for get a couple guys over there to finish that. And again, we have some grading to do. The building is basically closed in with a roof and siding, doors are in. The plants arrived a few days ago. I think they were here on Friday. The planting for over there. There is a planting plan for where they go. Donnie's going to get started on that in the next few days, so that'll be underway and done. We're waiting on the contractor to come down and work with him to make sure they're in as the plan dictates. The chess tables have to be installed. Of course, we're going to do that in-house, and they are already here. And the pavilion has to be erected. That's going to be a several day job, but we will also do that in-house. Now, we'll do that as we have time in Public Works, and the next item, well, the last item we'll be discussing what Public Works is doing now, but rest assured that they're getting busy in the springtime here, and we'll work these projects in as we get time. Want me to go right into the next item?
Sure.
Memorial Park, the boat ramp project, and we have the revised drawings from GMB reflecting the changes that were requested by the Harbor Committee. You see this is the schematic of the ramp the way it exists now, along with grades, the single ramp, or lack thereof. This is the corrected double ramp that will be erected after the fact. It's a wooden pier on the north and south side, a floating pier down the center that starts with a concrete abutment right here. One of the comments from the Harbor Committee was to extend this pier out at least as far as the center floating pier, so that you notice that has been done. One of the other comments was that dealt with the structure of the bulkhead, which I squared away with the engineer. He said it's just a schematic. We will actually do that correctly. You'll notice that the pier itself, the ramps themselves are 15 feet wide, which is more than adequate to launch most boats, gives you plenty of room. I had a suggestion today that we mark one ramp in and the other ramp out, so that there's no line, no waiting there. But the other thing that we had come up at the Harbor Committee was the fact that the sounding at the bottom of the ramp was 4 feet below the benchmark, and if you look just offshore of it, well, he's corrected that. That doesn't even show anymore, does it? No, it doesn't. Well, the bottom of the ramp is in minus 6.1 feet, which means it's 6 feet below this benchmark, and a little farther out, it's only minus 5 feet, which means that's a foot higher. And so the bottom of the ramp's down in a little hole. The engineer tells us that will take care of itself as we use the ramp, which we believe. And you know, it's just beyond that. It gets plenty deep, plenty quick, so we're not too concerned about that. Harvey did finish most of the permit before he left. He left enough for me to sign and go ahead and submit it. And we were supposed to do the permit, so I'll get that done and submit that. And the engineer at George Miles and Burr is working on the construction drawings right now. As soon as they're done and we have the permit in hand, we will put a bid package together and go out and bid this project. And the Harbor Committee has approved this for construction over the summer because the Memorial Park ramp basically is unusable like it is for most boats. So we will be in construction over the summer. Hopefully by the end of the summer we'll have a nice double ramp there that's usable for everyone. And if you notice here, let me find one with the water line. At mean low tide, at mean low water, there's still going to be about 4 feet depth at the end of the ramp at mean low water, which is, if we were able to obtain that, we'd be able to launch most boats there at any time.
There's a hole still there.
Yeah, there's a little hole, but the problem is with the ramp we have now, you come down and it goes back up. So you can't get the boat off at low tide. The stern lifts up because of the way the ramp.
I get that.
So in any event, there's the boat ramp. It's underway, and we hope to get a good price on that and get that under construction before summer starts in full.
Okay.
Is Public Works going to be taking out any of the concrete or
No.
on that south side?
Demolition. We'll do assist if we think we can save some money, but I'd like demolition to be part of the contract. That was one of the issues we had when it was done the last time. Since the town shared the work, with the contractor, we can't really, yes, we share the responsibility, so really, if you're not happy with the ramp, then, it's one of these cases if he did it.
Yeah.
So we want to definitely make all of the work and responsibility of the contractor, so when if something by chance does not happen the way we anticipate it to happen, or not per the drawings, then we'll go back to the person who did it, and there's no doubt who the person who did it.
Gotcha.
So, and moving on to public works projects. Right now, other than Brianna's Park, we really don't have any large projects on the board. They're getting ready to get their stuff out for pony penning. We'll be cutting cemeteries for the first time next week. We have the pavilion to install at the park. Of course, in the fall, we have Cropper Street coming up, and that's going to be done with with more contractors this year than we did Mumford Street with, so hopefully we'll have more time to do some other things while that's happening. Replacing the filter media at the water plant on Willow Street's coming up. We're installing banners right now. There's 165 total banners this year.
Wow.
That's a 60% increase over last year.
Wow.
We're gonna run out of poles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're trying to decide where.
Have you been approached by the high school yet?
I have not. You mean for senior banners?
Yeah, and I have not either, so I don't know.
I can give Katie a call, ask her.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do it this year or not.
I talked to her once today, but
Yeah.
I've got to talk to her in the morning, so I'll mention it to her. So
That's an expense they may not wanna take on.
And I thought it worked well during COVID.
Yeah.
It worked very
Yeah,
well.
but we're not COVID anymore.
Right. We're getting ready to repaint curbs. We've had a talk about that. They are currently doing weed killer operations on the streets and sidewalks. They're currently doing grass cutting on the side of roads. They're going to do the tie-in with Wayne Road hopefully Friday when they do the pickleball court. And that's about it for what they're up to right now. As I said, we don't have any large projects coming up this summer, thankfully. I will say that I talked with Ravens Marine right this afternoon after lunch. They sent me a copy of the email from their float supplier. I looked it up, and it's a real supplier. And they're saying right now that they should have the floats to Ravens by the 9th, which is next week.
God.
Ravens has consistently told me that 2 weeks after they receive the floats, they will have our equipment ready to ship. But I also contacted Virginia Port Authority today and made arrangements to carry the money over till next year. So that's all taken care of. Melissa Fulleron, who oversees that for the BPA, is very good at her job. And once I told her, she said she'd take care of everything from there on. So we officially requested the money to be carried over for next year, which is done all the time. Every year there's a list that comes out. We were very proud that we were never on the carryover list. That we always got our work done,
Well, supplies are hard to get on some things.
Yeah, so this is out of our control. So they certainly understand, and it's something they do all the time, so it should not be an issue.
So that sounds like that's gonna be a fall project.
Sounds like it. We certainly don't want to be tearing out 30-some slips at this time of year.
No.
Not even for a few days.
They were putting boats in today, hand over fist, all the big boats got put in today.
Very, very busy when I call them.
Yep.
I forgot something on public comment. I looked right over top of that. I know we got two guests here.
I was only here to hear about pickleball and tennis courts. Thank you very much, Mike. I saw it on the agenda and thought, I'm going to come and listen.
It's almost
I'm
done.
I'm the president of the Association for
I
Tennis
thought
and
you were
Pickleball,
familiar,
and I
yes.
am very, very excited that we're working on this. And Mike and Harvey have been really very helpful.
Good.
So thank you.
And along those lines, because I forgot to mention that we were not originally going to seal the pickleball courts. We were just gonna line them out. And the Pickleball Association has graciously decided to donate the money it would take to seal those
Good.
and do those courts
Thank you.
professionally, which, so we're all for that.
Great, great,
Absolutely.
right.
Um,
I have a question on the Brianna Park. Where the restrooms are and where that gym is, outdoor gym, are you planning on in time having a parking area there?
Next to the restrooms,
Yes,
there is still room for head-end parking to the east of the restrooms.
that's what I'm saying.
In front of the soccer field.
We
yes.
had a complaint. Harvey knows it. He said that, and as far as he knew right now, it wasn't. But the lady said she talked to you, and you said for right now you didn't know anything about parking going there.
At one time, one of the designs we circulated through had head-in parking all along there on both sides of the existing parking lot to get the required number of cars in. But we kind of expanded and changed and rearranged to the point where
Right.
we just lost that head-in parking. But there is, if we do need it, I think there is some room there.
Right.
But right now, I don't see a need to put that there. The bad part about that is cars backing out into the road.
Well, and she was also, it's the neighbor, you've talked with her before, and she was talking about speed coming down there so fast, the vehicles are. And of course Harvey says, she says, couldn't we put a speed bump? He says, I guess you could, because it's not a state road.
If it's not a state road, we could, but if it's a state road,
It's not a state road, because that's a privately owned road, and she said, we used to maintain that. So, I don't know, you may get the phone call that day that I was in your office is when she was texting me about parking there. So I was going to post office anyway, and I just dropped by there, and she came out, and she says, and I seen all the vehicles parked there. And she says, there they are, and here there comes a whole bunch of guys. I said, oh, that's the Coast Guard guys. They went over here into the Amron.
Right. And as soon as that parking lot's redone, they'll have a place to.
And that's what I told her. She says, then why don't they park in there? I said, how they going to do it when they're out here working on the parking lot?
I was gonna say, the parking lot is used.
Right. I said, because I know her well. I said, now just how are they going to do that? We'll park on the other side. I said, how are they going to do that when all their work vehicles is over there? So anyway, Harvey happened to be coming in, and I thought, get that off my shoulder. It's yours.
We parked there for eons.
Yes.
The whole time it was the Little League field, they parked there. The
Oh,
whole time it
good
was-
Lord, everywhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
back, when it was a football field, we always parked head in there.
You couldn't walk for cars when there was a Little League game back there.
No, I remember it. I remember. Of course, you'd have to have it, it'd have to be some work done to it.
Yeah, but
Yeah. But Harvey did tell her as of right now, he didn't know of any that was planned for it right now. So
But-
just be on your radar.
Yes, ma'am. Well, the fence is up around the soccer field. Soccer goals are there. They have not been anchored. I was out there Saturday, had my grandkids over there, and they wanted to play some soccer. I said, well, come on. And the best thing they liked about that park, they went over to the exercise equipment and started
No kidding.
working on it. And they love it.
Well, this neighbor was saying that she see kids come out there and wrestle into that little gym thing. I guess it's rubber or something
It's
that's cushioned.
Yeah, it's cut up rubber
Uh-huh.
tires.
And she said the kids, they go in there and wrestle.
Shredded tires.
Uh-huh. So now, I did read last night, I was looking at lighting for in there. Okay, what about the videos? I mean, camera.
Surveillance, we
Yes.
have not, well, we've priced it, and it's in the capital improvement plan, but it has not been scheduled yet. And we may have to do that sooner rather than later, but we'd like to do, we had all sites priced at the same time as one bundle, we could get it a little cheaper. And our existing IT provider, Cloud Service Techs, priced it. That's also one of their businesses, I'm told. I haven't done any work with them like that, but I'm told that's their one of their fortes is surveillance systems. But we had priced redoing the harbor, municipal complex, Robert Reed Park, Memorial Park, and Brianna's Park, I think are the sites that we've priced. And we could use surveillance at all of them.
Yeah.
Just being there Saturday, I was counting cameras, and we're gonna have to have at least 6 at Brianna's Park.
Oh, yeah. I believe that.
And one of those would cover the pickleball courts and parking lot of the gym.
It's sad to say that you have to do that, but, you know, a lot of kids get a bad rap for what somebody else does. So.
Well, we're getting a fair amount of little petty any vandalism there.
I understand that. And
And
that-
it's
There's no sense in it.
no, and it's not an epidemic or anything, but we do see it here and there.
Right.
But
I don't cut them any slack if I know something. They get it. They might. I don't know what to tell their parents when they get home, but I don't cut them no slack.
Nothing.
Huh?
They don't tell their parents
No,
nothing.
they don't, because I found out on this electric.
Scooter?
Yeah, she didn't even give her mother one, and I said, well, I told her, and she was on the bus. I said, I hope when you get caught that you have to work out every dime for that ticket. And the parent was saying, go for it, Miss Ellen, go for it. I thought, yeah. So anyway, and the brother, when he got off the bus today, he says, I'll talk to her, and she needs to cut down on that. Lord, have mercy, they'll kill you. Okay, do we have any comments, Mr. Mayor?
The only thing I needed to add is for those upcoming public works, when they get the paint brushes out to paint the sidewalks, give them some gray paint and paint the new sign poles so they match.
got that on my list.
Yeah,
We talked
That
about
was-
that before.
that was something that when they're installing new signs, they don't match the
Are
old
you talking
signs.
about the stainless steel pipes?
Any pipe needs to be that uniform gray, and even the back of the signs, if you paint them gray, it makes everything look
Oh,
more
They-
professional.
Yeah, and I saw that, all honesty with you, I saw that done in the town of Shanksville, and I started doing it for the school system when I was working there. If you go up to the schools and look at the back of the sign of the sign disappears because the whole pole's green, the back of the sign's green. It blends in with the green trees, you go to the other side, it's the stop sign.
oh,
So it looks good.
you have any more? You
No,
want-
ma'am, I do not.
That's my only comment.
Okay. Do we hear a motion we adjourn?
Yes, ma'am.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.